everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea and I am here today with my first update for Paranormal Pantivity. This is a project that I created for the Fantastic Ladies Facebook group, and it's all about spooks and ghosts and spirits because I absolutely love that stuff. So this is a year-long project. It started on the 24th of September and it will run until the 24th of September next year. I said that you could do this roulette style, but really I don't mind however you decide to do this project. I'm just glad that you decided to join along. So I actually pulled in all 31 prompts at once. I have not started working on all 31 prompts. I do have 3 prompts finished already, which I'm very excited about. So I'm just going to go through items that I have used. Not even every item that I've used, because some I've only used like one time. I'm not going to show you something that I've only used one time. I don't see the point in that. But we're going to get into it. I also, for the prompts that I finished, I found a couple little background facts or tidbits about the different prompts just because I like that stuff. And it's not going to be in depth by any stretch of the imagination, but just a little more background on some of the things that I put into this project. So the first prompt is for poltergeist, an item that gives you trouble, either like it's hard to use or faulty packaging. I brought in my Revolution Soph X palette because, as you can see, faulty packaging. Almost every Revolution palette I have has this problem. But I brought this, oh my god. This is why I brought this in for this prompt. I brought this in no pan left behind style. I did already have those 2 pans in it. And, oh my god. And then also, I have to keep this if I want the shade names. And I hate keeping these things, but I have to because otherwise I won't know what shade is what. I could depot this, but I depotted the Revolution Emily Edit the Wants palette, and that was an experience, let me tell you, so I don't want to go through that again. But, whoops, if you will see, all of my little squares are filled in, which means I used all of the shades at least once. So that is going to be rolled out, and I've decided as I go through the prompts that I finished, those are the ones that I will talk about. So poltergeist, why do I want to keep saying poltergeist? That's not a word. So the prompt is a product that gives you trouble. Poltergeist comes from the German word for noisy spirit. So they are spirits that cause loud noises, they move objects around, they destroy objects. A lot of times, one of the phenomena that people will talk about in poltergeist haunting stories are like you'll hear snapping sounds or knocking on the walls, things like that. The interesting thing about poltergeists is they haunt a specific person, not a place. So ironically, the movie Poltergeist, which is probably where most people know the term from, does not actually have a poltergeist in the movie. Those are ghosts that are haunting the house, not poltergeists or a poltergeist who is haunting, quote unquote, one of the people living in the house. So I don't know why they decided to name that movie Poltergeist when it's not about poltergeists, but they did. But that, I think, is what comes to mind when people hear the term, and that is a classic, more of a classic haunting type situation, not a poltergeist. There is, as you might assume or guess, the further back into history you go, a lot of the, theories behind what a poltergeist is a demon. For pretty much everything, a demon did it. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on that right now, but I think that's a cop-out. But that's just me. There is a modern theory that poltergeists are actually the result of unconscious psychokinesis in the person who is experiencing most of the activity. Oftentimes it's a teenage girl and, you know, going through puberty, going through lots of stress or emotional changes can cause, they have like an influx of mental energy that gets released into the atmosphere, causing all these things to happen. I also don't know. I mean, this is ghosts and stuff we're talking about. Like, none of this can be proven or has been proven one way or another, but I'm more inclined to believe that than the demon thing. But that's just me. And the probably one of the most famous poltergeist cases is the Enfield poltergeist, which was actually the kind of like the story that was told in the movie The Conjuring 2. Now, in that movie, the demon did it. I mean, come on. But that haunting, if you want to say, was the basis for that movie, and it's probably one of the more well-known, like, modern occurrences of poltergeists. So given all that very limited history and background, I think you can understand why I picked a product that gives you trouble to go with poltergeist. The next prompt I'm going to talk about is White Lady, a product that's white or with white packaging. I have this Dermalogica Daily Microfoliant. My goal is to finish it. I have used it 4 times. I didn't mark it. It like wasn't completely full when I got it, but I've only used it 4 times. I predict this will be in for quite a while because it says to use like a half of a teaspoon every time you use it, and I don't use this every day. Obviously, I've used it about once a week, so this will take me a while to get through. The next prompt that I have a little bit of progress in is for Bloody Mary. That's a product with a mirror. I have, hopefully not blinding you, like this Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette. Got a nice big mirror there. So my goals for this one is these are 2 more like setting, finishing, kind of highlighting powders. 10 times each on these powders, and then each bronzer contour shade I will use 5 times each. As of this update, I have used this halo once. I've used Enhance twice. Oh my god. Carrot once. Angle. Nope, this is Princess Cut. I have these. I don't know why I did it this way. Princess Cut twice. Angle once. And Crown twice. Angle is the bronzer that I'm wearing today, and I think it looks pretty nice. I like this palette a lot, and I'm very thankful that Deb did not like it and she sent it to me instead. The next prompt I have that I have finished is Vanishing Hitchhiker, a product that disappears quickly. And I picked 3 samples for this. So the first one is this Glam Glow Youth Mud Glow Stimulating Treatment. And this has tea leaf, well, there's something else, but I ripped it off. Tea leaf and natural clay blend. I wouldn't repurchase this just because Glam Glow is not cruelty free, but I actually really liked this mask. I know Kim and Jaylon and I think Valerie don't like this because they don't like the bits. I actually kind of liked the bits. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It didn't really dry my skin out or anything, but you know, it's not cruelty free, so I won't repurchase it, but I did actually enjoy it. Then I had this Drunk Elephant and Chris McMillan Coco Mino Glossing Shampoo and Coco Mino Marula Cream Conditioner. I mean, I can't tell anything from a shampoo and conditioner using it one time. It was fine. I'm not interested in anything by Drunk Elephant. I know they're really expensive, and my drugstore cruelty-free shampoos work just fine for me. Thank you very much. And then the last one was this Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. I have that I got 7 uses out of this. Again, it was okay. It's just, I just didn't, it didn't blow me away. And I mean, obviously this one I got about a week's worth of use out of this one, so I had a little bit longer period to like see what it did, but it was a facial moisturizer. I don't know what else to say about it. So because that one is done, I will talk about the Vanishing Hitchhiker urban legend just a little bit. I think everybody probably knows this urban legend. There's some variation of it in almost every single culture, where someone is driving along a dark road, usually. I mean, sometimes it's the daytime, but for the most part, it's dark. It may or may not be raining, and they see someone, usually a young woman, not always, but for the most part, a young woman on the side of the road. They pick her up. The hitchhiker usually gets in the back seat, and then they will either give an address of where they are going or give the name of a family member that they are trying to go see. And at some point along the journey, the hitchhiker disappears, but the driver doesn't notice until they get to their destination, wherever the hitchhiker said they were going to. They turn around and they are no longer in the back seat. Now, the most popular version of this is someone picks up a young woman. She gives them an address of where she's going. When they get there, she's no longer in the car. The driver proceeds to get out of the car, go up to the house, and usually it's her mother or sometimes both of her parents answer the door. The driver asks about the supposed daughter and finds out that the daughter died 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago in a car accident. I'm sure everybody has heard that urban legend before. There was even an episode or several episodes of Friends where Joey was going to star in a movie about that urban legend, and it didn't pan out. Probably one of the most well-known versions of the Vanishing Hitchhiker story, in America at least, is the story of Resurrection Mary. She is a young woman in like party attire that is usually picked up at night, and as the driver of the vehicle she is in passes the Resurrection Cemetery, which is a few miles outside of Chicago, the ghost known as Resurrection Mary vanishes. So I picked the prompt, a product that disappears quickly, because the driver is never aware that the hitchhiker has vanished until they reach their destination. So, that's how I put that together in my mind. Okay, on to the next one. That was a little long-winded, but everybody, I'm pretty confident everybody's heard at least one version of the Vanishing Hitchhiker story. The next prompt is for Gremlin, which is a mini or deluxe size sample. I have this It Confidence in a cleanser. I wanted to finish it. I used it 20 times, and it is empty. This smelled really nice. I don't feel like it got my skin particularly, it got it clean, but it didn't feel as clean as some other cleansers I've used, if that makes enough sense. So it was fine, but it's gone, and I'm not in a hurry to repurchase that. So this is the last one that's rolling out. The Gremlin, I don't really have a bunch of backstory for it. The Gremlin, it's just, this is actually something that everybody's heard of Gremlins, I assume. Probably everybody has seen the movie Gremlins, which I think is what a lot of people think of when they think of a gremlin. But this actually is a mischievous, technologically inclined creature that was actually invented by the British Royal Air Force in going back as far as World War I, but it really became much more of a meme, if you will, for World War II. And I don't know what Madeline is doing. But they invented these like small creatures to explain why there would be like technical malfunctions in the planes that they weren't really sure why they were happening, or to explain kind of like the, I guess, mental state of some of the pilots, because there were gremlins in the plane. And an important thing about gremlins, though, is they are, I guess what you would be, I'm probably using this wrong, but they would be like a chaotic neutral. Like they're a chaotic force, a mischievous force, but they don't pick sides. They're an equal opportunity. They employ equal opportunity chaos. So I picked the prompt a mini or deluxe size sample because gremlins are pretty much any depiction or the definition of a gremlin that I could think of or find. They're described as small creatures. And when I think of gremlin, when I think of gremlin, I do think of the gremlins from the movie, and they are very small creatures. So that's why I picked mini or deluxe size sample. So that's the last like explanation or like little backstory for some of these prompts. And now I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the rest of the items that I have worked on, hopefully fairly quickly. So next, Banshee, a product you are close to finishing. That's my ColourPop lip gloss in Hot Headed. I want to finish this. I've used it 5 times. I'm like right underneath where the line is, so I didn't make another mark, but I have used it 5 times, and it's kind of worn away because I was drinking coffee, but I have it on over a lip liner. I like it. I think that's probably my preferred way to wear it. That particular one is really kind of like extra thick. And it's easy to put too much on, and then you get like that gummy, goopy, nastiness. So it's a little too much if I put it on over lipstick, but over a lip liner, it's fine. Okay, next for Dybbuk, a product that's still in its box, I have my Melt Amor y Mariposas palette for No Pan Left Behind, and I have used this once, and I used the entire, here, I'll hold it upside down, but this is the top row. I used this entire green row, and I really liked how it looked. It was very pretty. So I think when I do use this palette, I will probably do like, use this whole row for a look, use this whole row for a look, use this whole row for use this whole row for a look, use this whole row for a look. We'll see. That's kind of what my plan is, but especially these bottom 2 rows, especially this one is kind of dark, so we'll see. But either way, I've used a quarter of the shadows that are in this palette so far. The next prompt that I'm working on, we're jumping all the way down to prompt number 19 for Seance, a product you bought because someone else told you to or recommended it. That's just Madeline shutting my door. I have this Milani Color Fetish Balm Lipstick. I bought this lipstick formula because Valerie said it was really good. I bought this shade because I think you know why. This is the shade Role Play. I want to use it 31 times. I've used it 3 times so far, and it is really nice. I've actually picked up another one of these in another shade since I used it because I liked it a lot. Then for Flying Dutchman, a product you are doomed to pan what feels like forever, obviously blush. I brought in this Tartelette Blush in Bloom palette. I'm now trying to pan this. I just want to use each shade 10 times. So far I have used Petunia twice, Wild Rose once, and Tulip once. I'm actually wearing Tulip today on top of one of the LYS cream blushes that I just rolled into It's Panning Cats and Dogs, and like they are basically the same shade, but one's in a cream and one's in a powder, so they're really nice to pair together to like, for this to help the cream just stay around a little bit longer, I guess, or set it down a little bit. So this, Tarte as a whole, not my favorite brand because I think they're a bit boring sometimes, but their blushes are so beautiful, and I'm really happy that I picked this up. Then the next one is Afterlife, a product past its expiration date. That is my ColourPop No Filter Foundation, because they haven't sold this for many years. I started here. What are you doing? I started here. I'm not trying to finish this. I just want to use it 31 times. I mean, I've only used it twice so far, once including today. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this yet. It's been a long time since I've used it. It's a ghost! I think I have mixed it. The 2 times that I've worn it, I've mixed it with one of the other items in this project, this Becca highlighter, which I'll talk about in which I'll talk about in a minute. I think that highlighter is not the one to mix with this. So I need to try it on its own, and then I need to try it mixed in with some of the other liquid illuminators or whatever that I have in projects. But it's a decent, I think it looks fine, especially now that I've had it on for a couple, Thank you, honey. Especially now that I've had it on for about 5 hours and it's not quite so matte anymore. You can see kind of my shine coming through. So, but I still have 29 more uses left to go on that. Then for Black Dog, an animal themed product, I have my Clarity Cosmetics Cobra palette, which of course is no pan left behind. I've used 2 of the 8 shades so far. I've used this shade, which is Hysterical, and I've used this shade, which is Mamba. Oops. Maddie, careful, sweetie. What are you doing?
I'm jumping.
So those are what those 2 look like. It's a really pretty palette. I don't know which one. My goal is to kind of try to get at least 1 No Pan Left Behind palette out each month, because I have 11 in this project, so that is about 1 a month. I don't know which one I'm going to work on next, but I mean, that one only has 6 more shades I need to use, so I might kind of work on that one for next month, but I haven't decided yet. Then, for Exorcism, an item you want out of your collection, that's this Becca Ignite Liquefied Light Highlighter in the shade Creativity, I believe. I don't know why I bought this. I mean, I know why I bought this, but I shouldn't. It's not what I thought it was. It's way, way metallic. Even 1 small pump of this is almost too much for my foundation. So I'm going to keep trying it with the different foundations that I have in projects and see if it works well with any of them. Otherwise, this might go into a lotion. But I'm not trying to finish this up. I just want to use it 31 times, and I've used it 3 times so far. I've got 2 more to talk about. So the first one is Revenant, an item that has come back into your collection, a repurchased item. The Pacifica Pore Warrior Soft Scrub, I've purchased several times. I've only used this twice. I mean, I already have an exfoliator with the Dermalogica, so this is another exfoliator. They're both supposed to be very gentle, but I still don't use them every night, obviously. So this one, I know this one also goes pretty quickly, so I'm not worried about it hanging around for as long as the Dermalogica one, which is why I've only used it twice. But I really like it. It's a really nice, gentle, physical exfoliator. The last prompt and product that I have worked on is for Silkies. These are female spirits dressed in silk, and that is a product with a silky texture or something that leaves your skin feeling silky smooth. So I have this Tatcha, the Silk Powder. This actually has, what does it say? I thought it said 7 grams of powder in it. I've used this 15 times, and like I said, I didn't mark it when I first brought it in, but it's about halfway full. It's just 7 grams. It wasn't full when I brought it in, so I have no idea. I only I pretty much only use this for my under eyes today because I used that shade from the Park Avenue Princess palette on my under eyes. I used this more like on my chin and around my nose and right here. But for the most part, I have just, like the other 14 out of the 15 times that I use this, I use it on my under eyes. It's going to take a while to get through. That's okay. I have all year. I mean, I will be done with this before the end of this project. It's just going to take a long time to do. So that was my long-winded project update. But I love this stuff, so I thought it would be like an added extra fun thing to try to talk about a few of the prompts and like some of the background history on some of the prompts, or some of the background history on the prompts every update. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And as I said in my intro, I'm already planning prompts for this project for next year. So if you have any ghoulies and ghosties that you think I obviously left out, please leave them down in the comments below, because I'm compiling a list. I've got a list of stuff already, and I would love to add more to it. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're staying safe and sane and healthy, having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.